Yeah, pause YouTube. How's it going, everybody? Got for you guys today another really good post-narrated showdown battle. And before I get into the actual video itself, I really want you guys to comment down below letting me know if you guys have been enjoying all these little extra post-narrated showdown replays. I feel like this is one really good battle a day or any day that I upload it that you guys can get and hopefully enjoy just knowing that you can see a really good battle and a decent all-around narration. So I really do like to do them for you guys, and just I can't record every game that I play on Showdown because I do play when I'm not recording, and sometimes I do get really good games. So let me know if you guys have been enjoying these post-narrated showdowns being uploaded a little bit more sporadically, so you guys can have some extra content along with everything else that's been uploading. And just, yeah, hopefully you guys have been enjoying all the extra content that's been going up. Again, I have a lot more stuff planned for the rest of December and hopefully January and just for many months to come. But I just narrated this, and unfortunately, because I had something rendering in the background that took too much power from the PC, it was a little bit laggy, so I'm gonna decide to narrate it again. So if you guys do enjoy this battle, then make sure to hit the like button down below. Also, let me know in the comments below not only if you do like these, but if you would like to see more Ubers featured on the channel. Again, I know a lot of people don't do Ubers lives. That's why I may try and do them more often, because I feel like Ubers is a very underrated tier that still has a lot of pretty cool and fun broken mons, as you can see from the team that me and my opponent are using. I did do a live with this team, so a link to that will be down in the description or at the very end of this video for you guys to go check out. So looking at my opponent's team, easily the biggest humongous threat on his side of the field is Arceus. Arceus normal has been like top 3, top 5 biggest threats in Ubers since 4th gen. That is how terrifying this thing can be. Although I have my own Arceus normal, which much like his can SD and sweep me, mine can SD and sweep him late game as well. So going into this battle, I knew for a fact that I had to apply a lot of pressure and prevent him from potentially SDing with Arceus, or if I could get him in range of where my Arceus could knock him out, then I could set up with my Arceus late game and win from there. Also, if I'm able to get rid of his Arceus, my Scarf Lunala can just lock itself into Moongeist Beam and pretty much clean up the match. Xerneas, if I allow my Groudon to get too weakened, could be a huge problem after a Geomancy, so I'm gonna have to watch out for that. Dragon Dance Roost Salamence could actually be a huge problem if it sets up, so that's another issue I have to watch out for. And Dialga and Deoxy's attack aren't really that big of a problem. If anything, Deoxy's attack is a slightly bigger issue than Dialga, just because Deoxy's attack hits so hard, especially if it is Life Orb. But from his team build, I thought that he most likely would either want to lead with his Dialga or lead off with his Groudon, both of which are outsped by my Groudon if they are not max speed with a plus speed nature. So I am going to be leading off with my Groudon, as he actually ends up leading off with the Xerneas. Now, I found this to be a little bit odd, because the only reason, there's only 2 reasons he would lead off with this. One is that he Scarfed, and he predicted me to lead off with Pheromosa. So that way, since he Scarfed, he outspeeds me and knocks me out with the Moonblast. Second, he led off with Xerneas to try and Geomancy turn 1 and then just break my team down accordingly, because there's a chance that he could very well have the Hidden Power Ground, which at +2 still does a lot of damage to Primal Groudon. But because he's not boosted, and even if he's Scarfed, there's really no reason for him to stay in here. So I'm going to take this opportunity, very confident in the fact that he is going to switch, and I'm going to go ahead and just get on my rocks. As he brings in the Salamence, he's going to go straight for the Double Edge, not Mega Evolving. Now, my opponent at the time of this battle, I think was like number 20 or 21 on the Uber's ladder. I checked his rating after this match. So it's safe to say that he knows what he's doing. So from that assumption, the only reason that he should have probably gone for Double Edge and not Mega Evolve was to be able to save Intimidate to intimidate my Arceus later in this match if I was somehow able to get up a Swords Dance. which again, if that was the case behind him not Mega Evolving there, then it was pretty decent for him to just safely go for Double Edge there. As I'm gonna Dragon Tail him back into the Xerneas. This is actually not that bad of a scenario for him, because he knows that I cannot mess around with this Xerneas, although I think that after Precipice Blade, he is in range of where an Arceus' E-Speed, depending on rolls, can knock him out. So regardless, I have to be aggressive here, and I have to go for the Precipice Blades. And he knows this, so he's going to make the safe switch back into his Salamence, which with him being this weakened already, I thought that he would just take this opportunity to want to go for a Roost, not wanting to Mega Evolve again, but he catches me very well here, and he's gonna Double Edge my incoming Xerneas, which even though he will be able to easily 2-hit KO me, in return he is going to knock himself out. And it would have been really nice to keep my Xerneas around, because I could have been able to maybe Geomancy later in this match and swept him if his Groudon was weakened enough. So on the double down, I bring in my Pheromosa as he brings in the Dialga. He has no ghost types. I am Life Form. I am base 137 attack. I'll repeat that again. 137 base attack with the stab high jump kick. Something is about to get 2-hit KO'd here. So I'm gonna high jump kick as he brings in the Xerneas. This does 34%. That is actually pretty impressive. Once you take into consideration that Xerneas is pretty bulky and that was resisted. So here, this is where me thinking that, okay, he could still maybe be Scarfed. So what I'm going to do here is switch into my Groudon, thinking that, okay, I can take 2 Moonblasts, and then, well, I can take 1 Moonblast and knock him out with the Precipice Blade, or I can take 2 Moonblasts, then knock him out if he's Scarfed. But he's not Scarfed, as I outspeed him and then I miss my Precipice Blade. But in the long run of the battle, it does not matter, although at the current moment it did suck, because I still could have saved my Groudon to outspeed the Dialga and potentially outspeed his Groudon as well, picking up another KO or even 2 KOs depending on what his spread was, because Precipice Blade should have been able to knock him out if he wasn't running that many defense or HP EVs, but it's okay, seeing as I will be able to get a free switch into my Pheromosa here. I can basically just click Poison Jab. There is no way that he's going to switch out into anything on this Mon. If he did feel like bringing in the Dialga, that's fine. It's still going to get nuked by high jump kick, and if he does want to try to bring back in Xerneas, unless I miss, there's really no reason for him to make that risky of a play. So I knock out the Xerneas as in comes the Arceus. Again, I need to play aggressive against this Arceus. I cannot by any means allow him to Swords Dance, because I was so close to switching out here into my Giratina, thinking, okay, he's just gonna E-Speed, but then if he Swords Dances, then that could just be really bad, because that +2 Shadow Claw is going to be doing a whole lot of damage. And then there's a chance that he may even have Shadow Force instead of Shadow Claw, because I have seen that, although only a couple times in ORAS. I don't know much of the Sun and Moon Uber's metagame right now to determine if these do carry Shadow Claw or not. Mine does carry Shadow Claw though, but that's because I trust Edgar. So regardless, I'm going to be forced to stay in here and go for the high jump kick, as he does end up making the safe play in going for the E-Speed. And again, I could have switched into my Giratina expecting him to E-Speed and save my Pheromosa, but really, I was not in a scenario where I could do that, because again, +2 Shadow Claw is going to really hurt my Giratina or potentially knock me out. So here I get a 100% free switch into my Giratina. I can take a non-boosted Shadow Claw, although if he has Shadow Force, that is going to be a little problematic. Thankfully, he did not Shadow Force here, as he's actually going to switch into the Dialga, which is his only real switch in to take this Dragon Tail, as if he had brought in Groudon, he would have taken Rocks damage and Dragon Tail damage. But the good thing about this is that I actually Dragon Tail him into Groudon. Now, at this point, all I really need to do is just chip down this Groudon to the point where my Arceus can safely knock him out with an Earthquake or with a non-boosted E-Speed, so I don't have to Swords Dance, in front of it in order for me to win. So I am going to take this opportunity to just go ahead and go for the Dragon Tail once more, just to constantly wear him down, if I'm not mistaken, as I do Dragon Tail him on out into the Dialga. I'm very positive that this turn he's not going to go for the Draco Meteor. And the reason being is that he hasn't seen what my final move is just yet. He hasn't seen my last final 2 moves. But at this point, he probably thinks that I can't touch Dialga, or that I just have Will-O-Wisp as one of my moves. And there is a good chance that I may just Dragon Tail again. So what I'm going to do here is actually go for the Shadow Force. Now, this may seem a little bit odd, especially because he does have this Arceus, but this is exactly what I wanted him to do. I wanted him to bring in his Arceus because at this amount of HP, at 80% HP, he can't knock me out with a crit Shadow Claw. And after all this damage that he's already taken, once I hit him with the Dragon Tail, he's gonna be in range of where an Adamant E-Speed from my Arceus 100% will knock him out. So he's gonna go for the Shadow Claw, fail to knock me out as I Dragon Tail him into the Groudon. This is really good because again, I can honestly just go for the Shadow Force. I don't have to Dragon Tail. I can just Shadow Force here and either knock out this Groudon or knock out anything else that he switches in that isn't this Arceus. But because I am forcing him into the Arceus, he's gonna take this rocks damage again. Now, even though he will be able to outspeed me the next turn, he's only gonna have 1 Life Orb recoil left, which means I can bring in my Arceus here, live any move he wants to go for, and set up a Swords Dance. And at this point, it looks like the match is basically in my favor because I'm at +2. It's late game at this point, and even though this Dialga is gonna turn out to have the Shuca Berry, it is not going to be enough to live thanks to the fact that I am Adamant and Life Orb. As in comes the Groudon, at this point there's no way he can live an Earthquake either, and I'm guessing that he didn't bring in the Deoxys speed because at like 31 or 41% and E-Speed probably doesn't knock me out. So I could E-Speed here, but if he has E-Speed, he will out-prioritize me because he is naturally faster than me and knock me out, which is exactly what's going to happen. But this is okay because I still have Scarf Lunala, and the cool thing about Scarf Lunala is that I actually outspeed Deoxys attack by 1 point. By 1 point, I outspeed Deoxys here, and I will be able to easily knock him out with the Moongeist Beam, and that is going to be the victory in my favor. So I hope you guys could see from that match that I was able to use Shadow Sneak, not Shadow Sneak, but I was able to use Shadow Force, something that may seem like a bad move in this matchup because he did have a normal type, but I was able to use that to my advantage because by Shadow Forcing, I was able to force him into Arceus, so I could wear him down with the Life Orb, wear him down with the rocks, and then hit him up with Dragon Tail, putting him in range of where my Arceus could come in, and at that point just win the match. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this really good battle. Again, let me know if you would like to continue seeing post-narrated Showdown videos and continue to seeing Showdown lives with Uber Mon. So basically Uber's lives. So with that being said, guys, 2 videos at the end of the end screen here. Check them out. And with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. So later, everybody.
My brain and heart are both tied in a knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.